you do, man. Like,
yeah, titles don't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's about what you can offer, what you can bring, and
building your value.
Your best skills, your best value. Yeah.
And it's almost like you really have to go out there and be your own advocate because people will only pay you what they're forced to pay you.
Yeah.
And that's the case with like people who are considered box safeties. It's like, no, I'm a coverage safety because guess what? When we're paying single high safety, cover 3, I'm near the line of scrimmage. I'm covering tight ends. You know, I'm not covering the receiver deep. Sometimes I have to, but I'm all over the place. Morgan Burnett, perfect example. He got a pretty decent contract from the Steelers, but for years in his prime, he was one of the best safeties in the league. And they kept giving him extensions because they knew a guy like that, you got to pay him. Tyrann Mathieu. He's really just a corner playing safety who can play linebacker occasionally.
He actually plays corner more than safety. But
yeah,
go ahead.
But that's the thing, though. Like, they hide him and they move him around the defense because Budda Baker's a true safety compared to Mathieu. Eric Reed, Trey Boston. Trey Boston is a safety. He can hit, but he's also a coverage guy.
And you haven't even mentioned Vaccaro in this whole
Kenny Vaccaro's injury prone, and that's why he hasn't really been. But he is essentially a lesser version of Eric Reed, and it's going to be a problem for him.
He's bigger than Eric Reed, though.
I don't know, man. I saw those gym pics.
That
dude's jacked. And,
all right.
And then his brother, Justin Reed out of Stanford, might be a first-round pick, and he's even more athletic. He's more of a free safety. Ran a 4.4, like super athletic, and he's probably getting questions about his brother.
All right.
That's not fair to affect his draft status. I think the Vikings should sign Eric Reed because Andrew Sandale's trash, and I'll never forget how he got heinously ran over in the playoffs by the Eagles. Go back and look it. He got a concussion in the game and got his ass ran over. And I'm sorry, but you can't win the Super Bowl with 2 white safeties. I don't believe
Okay, are you done yet?
I'm done now.
All right, thank you. I've been trying to segue for like 30 seconds.
Fam, we got like an hour. Relax.
All right.
So before
next,
I'm just kidding. I just interrupted the whole time.
The next one we
I was about to. No,
all right, you guys want to moderate? All right.
No, I'm just kidding.
The next topic, another one we've talked about on the show quite a few times. Houston Texans owner Bob McNair. Last year during the offseason, he in a closed door meeting, he basically said, "You don't want the
get them niggas in line."
He didn't say that.
That's what he meant. But yeah,
come on, bro.
I'm joking, but go ahead. I can't joke now. Damn.
No, man, I can't have no professional credibility with you.
Whoa, disrespectful, and that's
you're damn wild card.
It's all love.
If I was white, would you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I definitely 100% would.
You'd be the wild card.
I would definitely 100%.
Why is it always going to be about race with you, bro?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
I
finally have someone else here. Let's go.
Come on. Black person?
That's what I deal with every
I just
single
like messing
week.
with him because it's funny how he reacts. He gets super tight about it. I'm like, oh, relax. I know you're not racist. Calm down.
But anyway, I only feel that way because, like,
you have a big ass elephant on your shirt.
It's Banana Republic, but okay.
Anyway, I only feel that way because I'm
That's
like,
why your stomach's hanging out your shirt.
It's actually not.
Hold on, wait. It's a roast battle right now. What you got?
His forehead has like 3 creases in it. Ridiculous.
That's experience.
No, it's not.
That's hardened.
It's a fucked up hairline and a fucked up head. Like, you need to fix that.
Boo. It's boring.
Man, get back to the topic.
He just really loves that sound.
Like, low key, even when I say something dumb, like, I just like play it one more time. It feels right. It resets the room.
It makes Barry feel at home. When he walks in the door, that's what he hears.
You ain't shit.
All right, back to the original topic. So what Bob McNair, the Texans owner, what the Texans owner said was, you don't want the inmates running the asylum. He got a lot of backlash about it. Even the former tackle of the Texans, Dwayne Brown, said McNair made negative comments when Obama was elected president in 2008. McNair denied that, and now this week, talking to the Wall Street Journal, he elaborated on that previous quote that he said, inmates in the asylum. What he said was the only thing he regrets is apologizing, because a lot of people took it as he was talking about the players, but he wasn't actually talking about the players. He was talking about league executives and coaches who he feels like have too much power and are running the league. Even though Texans PR released a statement as soon as he said it saying he didn't mean it and that he was sorry. So basically, I'm calling bullshit. And that's my take on it, because even if you were using league executives in your metaphor, if anything, they'd be more like the correction officers. Like, if we're really going to use the metaphor, like, so they're not the inmates because, well, you fire them and they leave whenever they want. So
you don't make money off your correctional officers.
Yeah.
Make money off the bodies in the cells.
They just run it. Yeah, exactly.
That's a bar.
Thank you.
You got a take or a tangent on it?
Yeah, I'm just glad he finally just realized that, like, he's not sorry. Old rich white dudes are not sorry for anything they do. Donald Sterling, guarantee you he wasn't sorry for anything he did. Trump, pick a sports owner. Jerry Jones. Think he's sorry for going at Goodell? No.
No, because they look at their bank account. What do they need to be sorry for?
Like
70-year-old women with 30-year-old women, 70-year-old men with 30-year-old women. You think they're crying?
Robert Kraft, all these cats, like, they're not sorry. They're sorry they got caught. That's any rich, influential person. They're not sorry they did it. Think Charlie Sheen's sorry for all the stuff he was doing? No. Sorry he got caught. And in this case, with the Texans, they traded Dwayne Brown literally, like, right after the whole, like, a couple weeks after that incident happened. Why would you trade one of the best left tackles in franchise history to another contender in another conference, and you really didn't get anything back? They got, like, a couple draft picks. In this case, so it's like Mark Freeman pretty much said, like, how do you even play for this man knowing all this?
How do we change that, though? Because I feel like we ran over the topic without even, like, actually talking about the whole thing, where it's like they're only sorry they got caught, and that there's a lot of people that are just only sorry that they got caught. So, like, where does the accountability come from, or, like, who's
the fans, the Houston Texans fans that are still going to games?
And fans feel probably more strongly than the owner does.
Exactly, and even especially with the Cowboys, because Jerry Jones has said similar things against the protest.
He punked their whole team and said, "Ain't nobody gonna stand."
The fans are siding with the owner, and we're seeing that with the ratings, and we're seeing that with just social media outcry. We're seeing that with Sunday ticket declines. We're seeing that just with the overall morale of ideas and, like, thoughts towards football trending towards a negative direction, because largely in part because of the anthem. People are uncomfortable with seeing people of color take a knee during the national anthem because they're insecure about how divided this country is, and seeing someone do that reminds them that we're not one nation under God.
And there's just a lot of racist ass, conservative, stuck up people
who aren't open-minded.
Like, put it like this. There are some NFL fans who probably don't ever want to see a female own a franchise. Mm-hmm. There's teams that probably aren't comfortable with a Jewish person running a franchise. There's just a lot of people who are NFL fans, let's be honest, are pieces of shit human beings.
But I think that's for any sport. I think
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's the problem.
I think that's any sport, any culture,
human beings.
Exactly.
And they're the ones who are the biggest market that the leagues are catering to. And maybe not in the NBA as much because the players sell themselves.
I mean, even if you look at it as far as, like, okay, the Raiders, they're a conscious brand. They're in one of the most conscious cities in American history. They're this big overarching symbol, and even they have a segment of conservative, Republican, middle California, MAGA followers that are not shit.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
That's what it is for every team.
Mm-hmm.
So the answer to your question is the only way we can really fix it is by not going to games, by writing sponsors letters, by
like the
hitting
boycott.
them with their pocketbook.
Like the boycott was supposed to be with Kaepernick.
Exactly, but unfortunately,
you have to economically shut
but
them out.
unfortunately, the people that can afford to go to games, the people that are going to games, are not the same people being assassinated on a disproportionate level. So they don't see it, they don't know it, they don't understand it. They're not the ones being pulled over and that are shaking when they get pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who see it and just don't care. They say like, no, it's like cognitive dissonance. And it's like, what does that have to do with football? Well, guess what? Your favorite player came from the hood. Was probably like Aaron Foster has a podcast, and one of his first guests was DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins talked about going to Clemson and how even after he left after his junior year, they were mad at him for leaving. He's like, no, you'd stay and win Clemson the national title. He's like, why? I'm not getting paid. Like, I have a talent. The NFL provides that service. And another thing, the NFL is a business. Mm-hmm. It's about the shield. It's a sport that is monopolized by the business of the NFL, the shield.
It's like we compartmentalize athletes and real life people.
Yeah,
like
they're
we
not
see athletes as like, people on screens and like them entertaining. Almost like how we do in music. You see artists and people performing, but you don't think about them as real people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, maybe like you could take.
Well, it's even like teachers. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't see teachers as real people, especially when you're a student. You think
especially when you're
teachers just get hung up in the closet when it hits 3:00 and they don't do anything or go anywhere.
They evaporate back in the thin air or whatever.
And now we're at the age where our friends are teachers, and like you're getting messed up with the teachers.
Exactly,
Like,
they're
the
the
horror
worst
stories.
people. They're the worst people.
Teachers
Like,
always try to turn
like,
up
all-
as soon as they get
like,
off class.
Bro, summertime is that's the time for teachers.
all the people I know that are teachers now are like the worst people that I know. Like,
oh no, I
like,
don't think that way.
like,
I work with a lot
they're
of
the
teachers.
worst
They're
people.
cool.
They're like the worst people. Like,
Nah,
They
shout
have
out
the
to
most
teachers.
fun.
Shout out to
Shout out to
teachers.
teachers.
nah,
every day.
man.
We need
like,
teachers.
Teachers
Like,
know
I'm
bad
not
people.
saying like bad people like scumbags. I'm just saying like,
All Pete's teacher friends are listening right now.
yeah, for real.
They're like, man,
they
fuck
know
this
exactly
dude,
who they
yo.
You
are.
are
They know
banned
exactly
from
who
so
they
many
are.
day parties.
There's a reason why you're off at 3:00 in time for happy hour. There's a reason why you get 3 months off in summer. Let me just put it to you like that. Teachers, I'm exposing you. You all know you love to turn up. So yeah,
Teachers
all my
don't
friends
lie.
that turn up the most are now teachers. I'll just put it to you that way. A lot of them are.
And a lot of them love
Or in
lying.
real estate.
Those are,
Pete's
that's
just
a- that's
he's
an excellent
getting rid of-
racket.
He's getting rid of all his friends tonight.
Yeah.
He said, I only have friends in
All
two
my
brackets.
friends are dead.
I don't even want to go to day parties anymore.
Oh, fuck all my
Shit,
friends.
well,
is
if
what
you
he's
ain't
saying.
listening to the show, you ain't really my friend anyway.
They should take it. They should
People
take
like
it.
you texting me on Thursdays, what are you doing tonight? The same thing I've been doing for 2 damn years, this damn podcast show. 10,000 tangents.
My bad.
He just accepted it. He's like, yeah.
No, I forgot. Only 2 years later. I should stop by one of these days. 2 years later.
You made up for it. You don't get the boo.
Yeah.
Everybody
yeah.
else does, though.
All right, man. The last topic for this game. So
Last game.
this
More
week,
people.
NBA announced a 4th league. It's called the NBA 2K Esports League.
I thought you meant the NFL.
Adam Silver is actually saying that he considers this a 4th league. Like, it's the NBA, the WNBA, the G League, and now the 2K Esports League. There was a whole 6-round draft. Bunch of esports players got drafted. It was live on Twitter. It was live streamed. So,
All on Twitch, I'm assuming.
yeah, it was. Give me a take or a tangent on it.
Man, that's the new wave. Nerd. It's funny. When we were coming up, your parents would be like, "Yo, you play video games all day. You're a bum ass person.
For real.
Go outside and do something. Get laid. Go make money. Like, figure it out."
Right.
Like, oh no, I'm gonna just play video games all day, and then you got some people
Not-
making like
not
millions
knowing-
of dollars
not
off
knowing,
Twitch.
Not knowing that scraping JD and 2K and Man kept me fed for the day.
Like low key.
That's why he's not eating right now. Because he's lying. I'll straight both of y'all.